Yeah, keep going. We good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. Baking soda's only 99 cents.
Yo. There's pressure that comes with the block. You could end up inside of a box when you get your knob buzzed by a op after getting set up by a thought. Opportunity, it doesn't knock. No, that sound right there be the cops. Yep. And all of that stress that we talking still beats punching the clock. You think I wanna sweep your floor from 8 to 4? Fuck, I wanna take your orders for when your favorite star got an Audemars that's worth more than mama's car. Type of shit make you wanna say fuck the law. When your rent's due and your piss poor, nigga, we don't even own our own corner store. So quarter waters cost a quarter more, Wanna be an entrepreneur. We want sign checks. We want work for ourselves. We want own the nets. You're too much of a threat when you're on your own assets. So the only thing they show us is how to be an outlet. So we won't connect. They say hi like hola. Listen to Hova. Whip up a Rover. Been watching Power. Tommy and Ghost bruh. So I need some powder. Fish scale and soda for 99 cents.
It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense, yeah. You see, the money is the motive. Repeat my history, crack cocaine is like the motif. It's plain and simple, way back then my mother hustled. It's in my blood, so I feel like it's time to grind. Just like the times when niggas lied. Hold up, back then was the bad days. Motherfuckers push mad weight, I was a crack baby. Tell me nothing about my mother and the struggle. See, I love you and this fuckers trying to smoke she hustle. Selling everything in the house, goddamn. She ain't give a damn about the spouse, goddamn. So my oldest brother had a man up, had to take care of us and the peace with 4 kids. And one on the way with no clip, no food in the fridge, on some cold shit. Got food stamps from the neighbors. Tired work, he ain't ask no favors. Late night, he was shot bodegas. Over bread, it's a me, some mayo. Kool-Aid had about 4 flavors. And when time went to cash out, Aki lashed out. Told him he'd take food stamps. $15 for that kid, fuck all that shit. Then the young nigga noticed that it could be the coldest. Take back what they owed us. Whole world on the shoulders. No food in the kitchen but the stove work. $10 in the sack and he points to the back, say, aight, let me get that soda. 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense, yeah.
So let me get this shit straight. So I gotta go take out loans to go to school, to get a job, just to pay for the loans I took out in the first place. I'm looking at this arm and hammer like I should have a hammer in my arm right goddamn now. Shit ain't make no sense. Lord, make it make sense. Goddamn.
Baking soda's only 99 cents. Hey, it's hard to repent. You gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense.
Remember they got 5 on the song? That's called God Got Tried. God Got Tried. I really sing that. This shit hard. It's gonna be hard to do. Then you back on the tribe and the chorus. Okay? It's not hard. It go together and everything. It sounds just like the song down there.
Come with it. Shalom, Israel. You're live with the Israelite School of UPK. Priest and Captain Soccer War coming to y'all live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes live from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You brothers and sisters in Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, the address to the school is 3000 Walnut Grove Road. 3000 Walnut Grove Road. Again, the classes are from 8 to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You got family, loved ones, people you care about in Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with us here at the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Since 1969, We've been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that God's chosen people are so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2022, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is here on this earth. So what we like to do with these classes is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to gain some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the Most High, which comes out of this book called the Bible. What we like to do is prepare classes for these days that we have class. But as with every class, we like to start the class off with questions. So if any brothers and sisters have any questions online, type them in. Any questions in the room, all you gotta do is raise your hand. All right, if you're tuning in online, please like and subscribe. Share the class, let everybody know that we're live so we can get brothers and sisters in here to get their questions answered, all right? If we don't have any questions today, we're going to go into a topic called God's treasure is buried in the Americas, all right? God's treasure is buried in the Americas. And what I'm doing with this class is we're playing off of the old story of, you know, somebody out there searching for buried treasure, right? In order to find buried treasure, what is it that you have to have in order to be able to find the location of that buried treasure? You need to have you a map, right? Some kind of blueprint that draws you to where the treasure can be found. Well, when it comes to the Most High and the thing that He found to be of value, that He found to be worthy, that He calls treasure in the Bible, that thing is buried in the earth. And if you understand the Bible, and if you know how to read the scriptures, then you will be able to find where God's treasure is buried, and it is here in the Americas. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. But I'd like to give brothers and sisters an opportunity to ask any questions that they may have. So we'll give y'all about 30 seconds to a minute to see if you got any questions. If we don't have any questions, of course, we're going to go ahead and get into these scriptures, all right? I can't see myself. I can't look at myself and look at the damn camera at the same time. So I'm looking straight. I don't know how I look there. As soon as I turn my head, I don't like how I look from this angle. But we're gonna just rock with it. I'm gonna stop looking at the damn camera. I'm gonna teach the class, all right? All right. You got any questions, y'all go ahead and get them in. Most High Christ. No, that's too wild. I don't even worry about it. It's all good. Yeah, last week's class, we discussed repentance and the process of repentance. And it's very important when we have these classes that brothers and sisters understand that coming into the truth and giving your life to the Most High and becoming the person that the Most High intended for you to be when you were born into this earth, it is a very long process, man. It's not something that happens overnight for anybody. You brothers and sisters that are just learning the truth and just getting wind of what it is that we're doing here in the ISUPK, I want you to understand that in this place, we are not going to sell you no dreams, and we are not going to tell you no lies. That is not our job. That is not our responsibility. That is not what the Most High has chosen us to do. The Most High has chosen us for a very specific purpose, and that is to be vessels for His will to be done. And right now, the Most High's will is that His people hear the truth. His people know what it is that life is all about, what it is that He expects from them out of life, and understand that if you choose to live life any way other than how the Most High designed it, that there are consequences and repercussions for your actions and your choices. And so with this school, it is not like your church. It is not like any institution that you may have come in contact with in your life growing up. I know y'all see that we, in the UPK, we a family, man. We tight. Brothers, we all soldiers, man. Every brother that's in the ISUPK, if you are an officer in the ISUPK, you are my brother, and we are bound by blood and by honor and by oath to ride or die for one another. And there's brothers all across this country that I've never met personally. I don't know them, know where they come from. But if you made it in here, you became an officer, and I know that you went through what I went through. You understand? You brothers that's out there, you troopers, or you just learning the truth, man, put your all black on. Because every brother that's ever come before you in the school put their all black on. You understand? You sisters out there, cover your head, man. Come in here for 90 days and keep your mouth shut. Learn how to have manners and learn how to, be feminine. Learn how to respect authority. And you'll be counted as family because all of us have a shared experience leaving the world and coming into the truth. But the ISUPK is not like a fraternity or a sorority. You understand? The ISUPK is not like a gang. You understand? ISUPK is not like the church or any other religion that you know, pledge yourself to. You understand? There's no hazing that takes place in the ISUPK. There's no secret society or some private interpretation of or understanding of anything that we have here that enables us to do what we do. Everything that we do and everything that we are about, you see it in these classes. You can find out about it by watching us online, or you can come physically to a class where we are, and you can find out all that we are about. We are not into hiding anything. There's nothing secret about any of what we do. Everything that we do and the way that we live our lives, the way that we conduct ourselves comes out of the Bible. And that is what scares people the most about men and women who are in the truth. The people who you know in your life, who you thought loved you before the truth, once you begin to learn this knowledge, you begin to express that this is your culture and you found a way that God intended for you to live, you're going to find a lot of people turn their back on you. You're going to find a lot of people begin to hate you or to be angry with you because you don't do the things that you used to do. And I want you to understand that they are not mad at you because of you and what you're doing. They're mad at you because they cannot find inside of themselves the thing that you have that allows you to give your life to the Most High. And you being someone who is an example of what it looks like when you submit yourself to a higher power, when you stop living life by your means and begin to live life by the means of the Most High, you become a reflection of someone who's wicked, that they don't have the discipline that you have. They don't have the control that you have. They don't have the wisdom that you have. And that causes them to lash out and to fight and to be against you. Nobody wants to have in their life someone who is a reflection of all the things that they are not willing to do to make their life better. People who are distraught, people who are frustrated, people who are depressed and saddened by their position in life, the one thing they don't want to see is somebody who's got it all together. They want to be around other people who are struggling, other people who are down bad, and other people who ain't got it going on so that they can say, well, hey, at least I'm not as bad as them. Or, hey, they ain't no better than me because look at what they doing. Look at what they got going on. In ISUPK, man, we get away from that. In the truth, we get away from living that kind of lifestyle. Because in here, we help one another with our problems. You understand? We counsel one another on the issues and the faults that we have. In here, the Bible demands that if a brother or sister offends you, you have to not talk to someone else about it. You got to go between you and that person alone and get it sorted out. Why? Because if you don't go to that person and get it sorted out, all the gossiping and the backbiting and the talking and the whispering is going to lead to discord. It's going to lead to falling out. It's going to lead to brothers and sisters hating one another. And that is the antithesis. That's the opposite of what the Most High requires for us as a nation. All of these rules that you hear about in the ISUPK and all of this structure that we have and all of the oversight that we have in here is to make sure that this place runs the way that the Most High said his nation was supposed to run. And for the people who oppose that, you got to ask yourself, why would anybody be against something like that? All right, having said that, man, let's go ahead and get into the class. I see we don't have any questions online. All right, so the first thing we will get into is, what does the Bible say about God's treasure? What is God's treasure? Where did it come from? And why is it lost? Why is it buried that it needs to be found? All right, go ahead. All right. Hold on. Bear with me. Let's get Psalms chapter 135 and verse 4. You got it.
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 35, verse 4. For the Lord hath chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure.
You understand? The Bible said that the Most High has chosen Jacob unto himself and Israel for his peculiar treasure. Everybody understand? The Most High's treasure are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Of all the accomplishments that God had on the earth, of all the great things that the Most High did, creating this universe that we live in, and all the stars in the sky, and the sun and the moon, and all of the planets that you're able to look in your telescopes and be able to see, the sun rising every day and the moon coming out, the tornadoes and the hurricanes, the summertime, the wintertime, the fall and the spring, the new birth of the grass and the bunnies and the livestock in the spring, and in the quietness of nature in the wintertime when the snow falls and everything is dead. All those things were done by the Most High, right? But his greatest treasure above all of them are the 12 tribes of Israel. What makes the 12 tribes of Israel the Most High's greatest treasure? Let me get Exodus chapter 19. Verse 5.
Okay.
You got it?
Okay.
Go ahead, read it.
The book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
Everybody understand? The Most High said if we were, the children of Israel were to obey him and to keep his covenant, then we would be a peculiar treasure unto him above all people, for all the earth is mine. Read the next verse.
Verse 6. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel.
Most High said that we would be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which you shall speak to the children of Israel. So from the beginning, when we came out of Egypt, through Moses, the Most High let it be known to all of Israel that we were his peculiar treasure. And in order to embrace and embody the purpose that we were made for on this earth, all we had to do was to obey his voice and to keep his covenant. Everybody understands? Now, why would that make us a treasure to the Most High? In the next verse, he goes on to say that we would be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. What would a kingdom of priests and a holy nation look like on the earth right now? Think of the society that we're living in right now, the times that we're living in. In this Western society that we live in, there are all types of philosophies and ideologies that are being pushed through propaganda, misinformation, you understand, and lies that's coming out through the television, through the radio, all throughout the media that's being pushed onto our people, right? And there's all manner of confusions and lack of understanding that's going on in the earth right now. What would a kingdom of priests and a holy nation look like on the earth today? Kamayala.
Like the total opposite of what America has going on. There will be no like a lot of drugs and gangs and violence and murders and all these wicked things going on. It wouldn't be none of that.
Okay. So what would there be?
It'll be people will be forced, not just forced, but they will be taught the laws and they'll be taught the statutes and we all have a moral compass. You know what I mean? And we'll be regulated by the words of the Most High instead of just by how everybody feels or whatever.
You right. Okay. So you're saying that if there was a kingdom of priests and there was a holy nation in the earth right now, that there would be someone that would be something for everybody on the earth to look to as a standard, right?
Okay.
As a standard of what? What would having that standard versus America's standard mean for the rest of the world? If there was a kingdom of priests and a holy nation that established a level of morality that was, I'm gonna give it to you for time's sake, that was perfection, that was righteous, right? Imagine a place on the earth where you go here, brother, they obeying all of God's rules. They are doing everything right that God said to do. How would that place be perceived or be looked at versus how America is looked at? What is America looked at as to the rest of the world? Why is America so popular and such an amazing, great place? What does America offer to the earth that makes it look like, oh man, if I can get, there's people in third world countries, if only I can get to America.
Right.
What standard has America set for the world, and how would that standard be different than the standard of a kingdom of priests and a holy nation?
Right. The America is popular and people want to come here because they can do whatever they want to do. They don't have to obey different laws. Like in the third world countries, the women cannot walk around like they walk around in America. The men can't be gay like they can be gay in America. So America is the number one country because it's the boiling pot for all the wickedness and whatever you want to be and whatever you want to do, and you know what I mean?
That's what you want to say. You want to say America is the standard for lawlessness.
Right.
America is the standard for having no rules. America is the standard for, man, you can do whatever the hell you want to do.
Right.
If you can make it to America, there's places you can go get high in the streets. You go in Colorado, you can go smoke weed in the streets.
Right.
In Denver, Colorado, you can go to the football game and puff a blunt in the football stadium because marijuana is legal in Colorado.
Right.
In Las Vegas, you can go buy sex. You could go pay for sex. And that Lamar Avenue sex,
Right.
top notch, baddest hoe that you could imagine in your mind. If you got the money, you can go buy her for a night. It's legal. You can go to Miami. Cocaine fresh off the boat. You can go snort cocaine and party on a boat on the Atlantic Ocean at the beach. America is the land that flows with milk and honey. America is the place where all of your desires and all of your secret evils can come out. America is the standard for freedom. You understand? Freedom is propaganda. Freedom is misinformation. Freedom is really rebellion against God. That's what America promotes. Think of like you said, the women in over there in the Arab countries, they have to wear them dresses. Why? Because of rules. Over in China, you can only have one baby if you're a couple over there in China. Why? Because of rules. You understand? You can't. In China, it's a communist country, so you can't even say certain things out your mouth because you've been that disrespect the government. You understand? Because of rules. Come to America, man, you ain't got to worry about none of that. You can say whatever you want. do whatever you want, have sex with whoever you want, live any other way, any kind of way you want. And if you got enough money, you could do everything in America. You could murder, you could rob poor people of their money. You can go start a Ponzi scheme and rob everybody of $100 million, and then go to court and say, "Oh, I mean, my bad," and you'll get what, a 2-year prison sentence in a federal prison. You'll be home in no time. America is the standard for unrighteousness. A kingdom of priests and a holy nation would be the standard for righteousness. Where do you think that now? Why would that be better for the earth? Let's get a scripture. Let me get give me Proverbs 29:2. Proverbs 29:2.
Okay.
You got it.
Come on. The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Why do the people rejoice when the righteous are in authority? What does the righteous being in authority grant the people? Come on with it.
The opportunity to serve the Lord, and it's a lot of things. Like, we don't have to worry about eating unclean things. We don't have to worry about a lot of the things that happen, like in America, in the lawless land. When the righteous in authority, I mean, you have to do what they say do. You have to.
Why is that beneficial though? That could be like slavery to some people.
Right.
Man, I can't eat what I want to eat, man. I can't go where I want to go. Can't have sex with who I want to have sex with, man. All these rules, man.
Right.
What is it that the righteous bring that makes the people rejoice?
Okay. By them bringing the laws and the rules, we won't have to worry about, you know what I'm saying, having drug addicts, and we won't have to worry about being number one in diseases. We won't have to worry about being, you know what I mean, killers of our own people, or murderers, or rapists, or adulterers. We'll have a standard, and we have to live by it, because if we don't, then we'll be punished.
You're right. 1,000% correct on everything you said. Give me one word that sums up all the evil that comes without righteous authority. What's one thing you would not have if you had righteous authority? There's one word that I'm looking for that sums up everything evil and bad. Think of America. Think of what makes America so horrible. One word for what makes America so horrible. One word for why we are on the bottom. For why we are, policed the way that we are. Why drugs is put in our community. Why we don't have the jobs that we're supposed to have access to. Why we have a religion that causes us to, forgive the people that murder us and kill us and rape us and sell us drugs. And under a righteous authority, you would not have this one thing that would erase all the evil that comes without having righteous authority.
Is it hatred?
Not hatred. Not hatred. Hatred comes from this thing, though. One word. Who is the devil the Bible speaks of? What is he? Not who is he, but what is he?
Oppression.
Oppression, brother. That's the answer. Right. Oppression is what comes without righteous authority. Right. See, the Bible gives us laws and rules not to oppress. It's literally built into our culture that you cannot oppress someone. Having authority and having power means you have to look out for the weak. You have to care for the widows and the fatherless and the poor. You can't abuse them and take advantage of them and lie to them and feed them misinformation. You can't abuse the people who are without power, because that would make you a wicked ruler. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice because there's no oppression. That's what you want.
Okay.
The righteous authority means nobody is oppressed. And if nobody is oppressed, then what does everybody have room to do? If you weren't, if the earth, if you was able to free the earth of oppression, okay, understand this. Now that we got oppression, is what you remove when you have righteous authority. Think of all the evil things you just said, and all of those are a form of oppression.
Right.
Raping, that is a raper. A rapist is an oppressor. He is forcing something on someone that they don't want, which is rape.
Right.
And what happens after you rape someone? Now you've created a victim. You've created someone who has been hurt, who has been harmed, who has been traumatized.
Right.
You understand? There's an injustice that has been done. Now that person has been oppressed. A drug dealer oppresses the people who are addicted to drugs. The drug dealer goes out there, Sister Young Woman, Shalom, Lord Christ is. Most High Christ, good to see you. The drug dealer oppresses the person who is addicted. This is someone who, even if they wanted to get free from this drug addiction, they wanted to not do this drug, the fact that they are hooked on it means that now the drug dealer can take advantage of them. He can oppress them. How many of us grew up in this evil society where we knew brothers, sisters who had to prostitute themselves for drugs? You understand? Children who grew up with mothers who prostituted themselves, or parents who took bill money for food and for clothes and for electric and for water. But because they were oppressed by some drug dealer, they went and spent that money that was meant for their kids on drugs. That is oppression. You understand? Not to mention the police in our communities and the boss at the job threatening to fire you or taking away your ability to be able to feed your family and to pay your bills. So now you got to grovel and beg and be on your knees to some person who doesn't have no real power or authority over your life except that they're the ones at this job. Now you're oppressed. You understand? All those things come from there not being a righteous authority. And that is why the second half of Proverbs 29:2 says what?
Come on. But when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn.
When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. All of the sadness and all of the suffering and all of the tears that come from people all around the earth comes from oppression, comes from the wicked bearing rule. And this oppression is everywhere on the earth. It's not just here in America. You understand? And the oppression that we experience is specifically terrible because it's coming from another nation of people. It's coming from someone who we can clearly see and say, these are the people who hate us. These are the people who murdered us. These are the people who enslaved us. So it's clear to understand why they're oppressing us, because they always have oppressed us. But guess what? There's other places on the earth, just like in the black community. In this generation, these kids coming up today, they may have never seen any devils in their neighborhood. They may have never seen devil police officers here in Memphis, Tennessee. Y'all from Memphis? How long have the police been black in Memphis?
Say again?
How long have the police been black in Memphis?
Like, probably a little under 20 years.
Under 20 years, right? See, the new kids, these young kids, they don't remember devil cops.
Right.
We remember devil police. Them devil police is not the same as these police is out here today. Now, these police out here today still the devil, a lot of them, but you might catch a brother. He might go ahead, man, get up out of here, man. You know you're supposed to be out here doing that. Coming from D.C., where I grew up, Memphis is very relaxed when it comes to the police. Man, if you don't look like you a drug dealer, you all right. Just don't run the, you know what I mean? Hell, you be running red lights, driving without a license. You get pulled over. Hey, man, get out of here, man. Go take your ticket, man. Get up out of here. But, man, when I come from D.C., them police was like, they were, man, They pulling you over every second.
Right.
Every time you turn a corner, you don't blink right. You switch lanes the wrong way. If young and black and like you having a good time, bloop bloop, what you doing? Where you going? Why you smiling? What you happy for? What's that smell in there? Step out the car for a second. And you better not resist or give any kind of pushback. They're gonna let you know you was oppressed down here. You understand? But the young generation, I still like to say the young generation, a lot of these young kids in the neighborhood, they've only seen brothers selling the drugs, being the police, you know what I'm saying, being the pimps and being the evil ones. You understand? But there once was a time in this country where we knew that all the evil that we suffer is coming from this devil. They the oppressor. They're the ones that's doing it to us. But now in the black community, we are experiencing what a lot of other people around the earth are experiencing. The same way we see ourselves as the problem most of the time. When you go over there to China, it's Chinese sweatshops where you got little kids in there working, threading goddamn Nike signs on the side of a shoe, or putting the damn silver buttons on a Coach bag. And every day, all day, they in that office, and that's all they doing is putting them buttons on that bag. Buttons on the bag, buttons on the bag. You got big giant buildings in China where they in their cell phone assembly line. Cell phone coming down, you picking up a chip, putting it in the phone. Next phone come by, put the chip, put it in the phone. All day, 20 hours of the day, that's all you doing. It's so bad in China that they got bars on the windows of the high-rise factories so you can't jump out.
Right.
And even if you make it to jump out, they got nets built across the buildings. So if you make it out of the building with the bars, if you jump to try and kill yourself, the net will catch you. They'll roll you in the window, take your ass back upstairs, get back in your position, putting that damn chip in that phone. You understand? Now, what are them Chinese people? Who do they think is the oppressor? The oppressor is their own people.
Right.
You got Africans in diamond mines and rubber mines in Africa. They in there digging for gold, digging for diamonds. And who's their overseer? Somebody that looks just like them. You understand? It's being hidden from them that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And he's the reason for it. But guess what? All of the people, all of this conditions I just described, the people are mourning. The people are sad. The people are beaten down. They're worn out because of oppression. Everybody understand? When the righteous bear rule, the people rejoice. When the wicked when the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people are in mourning. You understand? If there was a kingdom of priests on the earth today, and the holy nation which the Most High called us to be, the earth would have a standard of righteous rulership. But without that kingdom of priests and without that holy nation, the earth has the oppressor of all oppressors as the standard. And that is why there's so much suffering and mourning on the earth. Everybody understand? All right, now we can drop that. So God's treasure, Most High in Christ. Salaki, the sister had commented oppression on there. I ain't even get to see it. Salaki, the water says, you understand? The Most High said that his treasure was the children of Israel. We were his treasure because if we would have obeyed him, we would have been a kingdom of priests and a holy nation on the earth. What does a holy nation mean? What does it mean to be holy? Come on, y'all.
Separate.
Why would being separate make us a treasure? What does being separate have to do with us being a treasure?
Because we want to indulge in the things that the wicked do. We have a moral compass.
Exactly. We would not indulge in the things the wicked do. If there was a righteous nation, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation on the earth, we would have no dealings with America. We would not take vacations to Las Vegas. We would not take trips to Colorado to go get high and shop at the weed stores that's in Colorado. We would not be flying to Miami to smoke cocaine and, party on the boat. We wouldn't be flying to Brazil to go have sex with $1 prostitutes. You understand? There's all this evil that's done in the earth where you can go and you can be lawless and you can sin and live and be wicked, but the earth calls it fun. If there was a kingdom of priests and a holy nation on the earth, we would be in staunch opposition to that place and to those people. Everybody understands?
Okay.
Now, if you understand that, you can now understand why our oppressor is so hell-bent on oppressing us. Because if we were allowed to be what God called us to be, then we would take away their shine on the earth. We would take away their seat of authority, their seat of power. The power and the authority our oppressor has lies in their ability to oppress. But if there was a standard of righteousness somewhere, if there was a standard greater than them on the earth, then no one would indulge in their oppression and they would lose their seat. Everybody understands?
Okay.
All right, so Most High called us to be a treasure, but we become lost treasure. You understand? The title of this class is God's Treasure is Buried in the Americas. You understand? How did God's treasure become buried, and how do we know that it is in the Americas? All right, first things first, let me get Jeremiah. All right. Let's see something. Jeremiah 17:4. Matter of fact, hold on. Before we go to Jeremiah 17:4, hold on. Before we go to Jeremiah 17:4. Give me Deuteronomy chapter. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. All right, hold on. Give me Deuteronomy 28:68. I can't find a better. I can't find a scripture that said it better. Deuteronomy 28:68. All right. No. Deuteronomy 28:64. Deuteronomy 28:64. Now, in the Bible, God prophesied to his treasure, to the children of Israel. We saw what he said: if we obeyed him and listened to his voice, we would be a kingdom of priests and we would be a holy nation, right? A peculiar treasure. Yeah, but then he said if we didn't hearken to his voice and we didn't listen to him, we would be the opposite of a peculiar treasure and a holy nation. Everybody understand? Let's get first Deuteronomy 28:15. Then we're going to drop down to verse 64. Deuteronomy 28:15 and then 64.
Okay. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
The Most High said that if we did not obey him and we did not hearken to his voice, if we did not keep the covenant that he made with us, then all these curses would come upon us. What is another word for a curse? Or in another word, what is a curse in the Bible? What's the context of a curse? Come on, y'all.
Punishment.
Punishment. That's what a curse is in the Bible. A curse is not, a 4-letter word. A curse is not, I wish you would die. A curse is a punishment. That's what the Bible calls a punishment from God. It's a curse. What is a gift from God? If a punishment is a curse, what is a reward? What is a reward from God called? Sister Yama, a blessing. Blessings are rewards. Curses are punishments. Everybody understands?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there shall serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Most High said that if we did not obey him, that he would scatter us among all people from one end of the earth even until the other. Everybody understand? So he prophesied that if we obeyed him, we would be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. But if we disobeyed him, we would be scattered among everybody else. And among everybody else, we would serve gods of wood and stone. Let's keep reading. Verse 65.
Come on. Verse 65. And among these nations shall thou find no ease, neither shall thy sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and falling of eyes, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
Most I said, among these nations we would find no ease, neither shall the sole of our foot have rest. But the Most High would give us a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. What does that verse describe? Verse 65. Come on, y'all.
A punishment, a curse.
Yes, but that's not the right answer.
Okay.
Sis.
Oppression.
Oppression. That's you want to. This is amazing. If you want to understand what oppression does to a person, read Deuteronomy 28, 64 and 65. This is what everything that we suffer is what God said we would suffer for not obeying him. You don't want to obey me, then you're going to be among these people. Read verse 65 again.
Come. And among these nations shall thou find no ease.
You're going to find no ease. Meaning what? Your life ain't going to be easy. You ain't going to have to be born with no silver spoon. Even the niggas born with silver spoons don't have an easy life in America. Sometimes, man, I don't know what I'm trying to say. There are some rich men who were born with silver spoons who wish they could have been born in the ghetto, who wish they could have been born poor and with all the problems that you hate about your life. There's some rich man who was born with a silver spoon that grew up around white people that wishes he was just a nigga in the ghetto. Because there's no ease. No matter where you are, no matter what status you have, there's no ease. You somebody who's, been living at poverty or below poverty your whole life, you've learned how to survive. You know what it means to struggle. You know what it means to get by. You know what I mean? To live off of, listen, man, I got $30 worth of food. I'm going to make it stretch for this week. Next week, maybe I'll come up on something, but I'm do what I got to do. Eat a little bit here, eat a little bit there. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little something to drink so I can go to sleep. You've learned how to survive, right? There's a cat out there who's absolutely busting his brain trying to figure out how he's going to pay this $3,000 mortgage. How am I going to pay this $700 car note, this $300 insurance, and I got to take this woman out to dinner. I got to buy her birthday's coming up next week, man. How am I going to get this money from? His life ain't easy. That cat you see riding in a nice car and popping out with that suit and them diamonds and that jewelry on, He ain't got an easy life. It ain't magic. It don't just fall out the sky. It don't happen overnight. You understand? No matter where you are, if you were an Israelite on this earth, it ain't easy. You look at the basketball players. Oh man, LeBron James, man, he slam dunk basketballs, $1 million contracts. You don't know what his day-to-day life is like. You don't know how much of a prisoner to a basketball he is. He not in the gym for 3 hours a day. He's not no LeBron James. He doesn't get those contracts. He can't go out and party and have fun and have a wasted night where he just go get drunk out of his mind. Nah, cameras everywhere, fans all the time, people coming up. You want to be you think you want to be a rapper. You think you want to be an entertainer. Till you at a restaurant eating dinner and some white kid comes up and says, you know, can you rap that song for me? And what you gonna do? You cuss the white boy out? Hell no, Cracker, get out of here. Now you cancel. Now your contract getting taken from you, all your endorsements gone. Now you go back to being a poor broke nigga. You don't want that. So what you got to do? You might have to spit something at the dinner table. You might have to say the hook for this little white kid and sign his little autograph so that you can just, keep going with your life. I done did the whole rap thing in here where I said, you think them rappers got a wonderful life till you realize they got to go perform every night. You write a rap song 3 years ago. It finally get popping. Now, every night for 32, for 2 months in a row, you got to go get on stage and go out there and jump around and dance, wave your hands in the air, say ho. You don't feel it one night, guess what? You ain't got no choice. Then you better get on that stage. You better get the energy. You better get out there and get them people a show, or else your career is over. And what happens after your career is over? Back to the ghetto with the rest of the niggas. Come on, y'all.
It remind me of when Jordan had the flu. And he still had to go out there and play with the flu.
He got the flu, stomach bug, cramping, fatigue, hot and sweaty. He couldn't say, hey man, I gotta play, man. Let's call a game. Play it tomorrow night. Nigga, you can't call out sick.
Right.
You better get on that goddamn court and run and jump and bounce the ball. Give your life blood. You understand? I work my little slavery. I'm hurt now. Slavery, you know what I'm saying? I'm hurt. I should not go to work. I should absolutely stay home for 2 weeks and rest my leg like the damn doctor said. Guess what? I'm last night at the job begging the devil to let me stay. Come on, man. Just let me do this over here, man. I ain't got to do the climbing up and down, but just let me lift the boxes over here. He's like, man, you might get hurt, man. I'm not going to get hurt. Why? Because I can't afford to not go to work. I can't afford to not get this goddamn money. Bills is due. That you ain't going to have no ease now. I got a relatively easy life. But even it ain't easy. You understand? My oppression is lessened because I'm obeying the Lord, but I still got bills to do. I'm about to have to go make phone calls, stretch these bills if I'm gonna be out of work for 2 weeks. There's gonna be no ease that the Lord is talking about. Everybody understands? So like you keep reading.
Khan. Verse 66.
No, give me in the middle of verse 5 after among these nations thou shalt find no ease.
Okay, come on. Salaki. Neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest.
Neither shall the sole of your feet have rest. Keep reading.
Come on. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart.
What is a trembling heart? Come on, y'all.
Fear.
Fear. You would be afraid. Keep reading.
Come on. And failing of eyes.
What is failing of eyes? The word that we would use for failing of eyes. Come on, y'all.
Depression?
No, not depression. Failing of eyes, meaning the thing you have hope in, it never brings you hope. It's never fulfilling. Man, Barack Obama running for president. Man, we about to have us a black president. Man, I'm going to go vote. Then you get the black president. Oh, God, we got a black president. Then 2 years later, what this nigga did for us? Right. What the black president do? Still crack. Still these buildings are still shitty. Is rent still going up? The cost of living is still going up, and what's the damn minimum wage ain't raised at all.
Right.
What all the hope we had? This is the Rock was supposed to make it better. It didn't get no better. That's the failing of ours. Come on with it.
And where all these homosexuals come from?
Man, all these the gay marriage on the TV, the kids kissing in the boys kissing in the cartoon. What the hell? What's going on? The failing of eyes is the thing you have hope in never fulfills itself. So now you have what? You're constantly being let down and disappointed, right? Now what do you have? Failing of eyes. How do we feel about America and the judicial system? They've been telling us for years, man, things is going to get better, man. It's a different America now. You understand? It's a post-racial society. There's going to be equality. There's going to be justice. We still, for 60 years, we've been marching saying no justice, no peace, right? Still no justice. Still. So what? How do we feel now about the system? How do we feel about the government?
We doubtful.
Doubtful is good, but there's a better word. It's a better word. How do black people feel about the police? We need them because there's crime in our community. Niggas shooting, robbing. Gotta call the police. But what you scared of calling the police for?
We don't trust them?
Yes. What is the word for not trusting something? You're right. Trust is in the word.
Like not trustworthy?
No. Young Jamal?
Don't say untrustworthy.
Distrust.
Distrust.
We have distrust in the government, distrust in the police,
Right.
distrust in the judicial system. That's the failing of eyes. Now we have distrust. I see something, but my eyes fail me every time. I don't trust these eyes no more. I don't see hope. I don't see salvation. I don't see us getting out of this. And that's what, man, talk to black people in the world. You know, I had niggas at my job, a nigga at my job that I told about the truth and what I came to Memphis to do and what I'm trying to build down here. You know what this nigga told me? I mean, you'll never see that shit in your lifetime. Man, you ain't never, man. That shit ain't about to happen in Memphis. Like, man, that shit ain't about to happen. I said, watch me. I'm gonna build I'm about an army of niggas. I'm glad I met you. I'm glad you know me now. Because you know me, nigga, it's me and 2 other niggas and 3 sisters. And I love them to death. And watch, nigga, I'm gonna build an army of niggas down here in Memphis. And you gonna be able to say, man, I knew that nigga when he was working here at this place, he ain't had nobody. I said, watch I do it, nigga, because that's my faith, nigga. I got trust in the Most High. But that nigga is so distrustful. His eyes have failed so much. He is a young nigga too, man. Broke my heart, man. I'm trying to fish him in the school. I told him about what I meant to, man, because we have conversations at the slavery, and he be like, man, I ain't never heard no black man talk like you, man. You be saying some wild shit. Chief, where you get that from? Like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm blessed, man. I got some wisdom, you know what I'm saying? One day I broke down the truth to him, and well, actually, he called me out on it. We had an argument about something. It was about, the matter of fact, that video with when the cat didn't want to feed all the kids. He bought the food for just his baby.
Right.
And the other 3 kids ain't had nothing to eat. We ended up arguing about that.
Right.
And I told them, we was arguing, and by the end of the argument, we get down to all of the reasons why black men and black women have issues. And we get all the way to talking about how the women's liberation movement. So he was trying to say it was women's liberation, and I was saying it was desegregation. We get to arguing about that point. He trying to give me all these facts. I'm like, nigga, I teach this for a living, and you can't tell me I know the problem. Nigga, I done gave lectures on this shit. He like, nigga, something. We get to arguing, and then I say, you want to blame somebody, blame the devil, blame the oppressor. They say, oh, see, there you go with that white man stuff, man. I know you an Israelite. Y'all hate white people, this and that. Started saying a bunch of shit that ain't true. And I'm like, nigga, that ain't that nothing. I said, I'm an Israelite. But all that shit you just said, that shit is not true. I don't believe in none of that. Yeah, y'all like the Muslims. Y'all Muslims, and y'all think that we supposed to go back to Africa. I'm like, no, I don't know what the hell you talking about. And you said, you disrespected me because you assuming some shit that ain't even true. Instead of you assuming you know what the Israelite is about, you should ask me. And if you ask me, you might find out that, damn, this brother really on some positive shit. So that's what I started bringing the truth down to him. And I told him, nigga, you can't tell me about this truth and about what it is that we doing, man. We raising up brothers all over the nation, man. I done seen this thing grow since I've been involved with it, man, 20 times. I said, I came to Memphis, I moved left Philadelphia, nigga, comfortable house and everything, woman. Moved down to Memphis in the projects, nigga, in East Memphis, because I knew that I could find some brothers down here and build this place up, man. We have a place where we living righteously and serving the Lord, and brothers and sisters getting along. That nigga said, man, you'll never see that shit in your life. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, man, that shit ain't, you say, nigga, you hear what you saying? You can't do that, nigga. That shit not about to happen no time soon. I was like, shit, watch me. But it was sad to hear him so doubtful. Like, he like, nigga, black people be great? Never. And that's the failing of eyes. Like, they so distrustful. And that experience with him made me think of my experience in Memphis with brothers and sisters concerning the truth. There's so many fake Israelites down here. So many cats saying that they one thing, but not living it at all. They looking at it like, oh man, I'm just some niggas doing some nigga shit, man. They on some GD shit or something. They probably see us and think we on some super gangsters or something. They so distrustful, but that's what the Lord said would happen from disobeying him. The failing of eyes is the distrust. You understand? So we're scared, we're fear, we living in fear, we're living in distrust. Read on. So like the sister had distrust as well. Most High Christ. Go ahead.
Come. And sorrow of mind.
And sorrow of mind. Now, what is the sorrow of mind? Come on with it.
Worrying.
No, you said it earlier. The first one you said. What is worrying? What is the other? Okay, can't say worrying. Another one of them mental health things that a lot of people deal with.
Depression.
It's depression. Most I said we would live in fear, we would be distrustful, and we would be depressed. And that is your life under oppression. You understand? Read the next verse.
Come. Verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
The Lord said your life is going to hang in doubt before you, and you will fear day and night and have no assurance of that life. That's what it means to be black in America. You understand? This is heavy. That this is what the Lord said we would, like, this is it. If you ever wanted a description or a way to explain oppression, this is what it is. Right here in the Bible, thousands of years ago, this is what God said the punishment would be for not being a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Come on, y'all.
Right. It makes me think of like when a brother and sister have an argument and their sister call the police, their brother feel like you could have got me killed. Like you threatened my life by just saying you gonna call the police, like you know what they doing to, and you gonna do that.
Yeah. It's the most disloyal, evil thing a woman could ever do. Right. Is to call the police. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But okay. Also on the flip side, why did she feel like she had to go to that length? We all understand the evil bitch who called the police when she don't have to, right? But what about the woman who feel like she gotta call the police? What's her mind? He might kill me in here. Right. He might rape me or shoot me in the head or stab me. He might beat me to death in here. The only way I gotta get him out of this house. He's got to leave no matter what. Even if it means he gotta die, he gotta get out of here tonight. I'm calling the police. And we can't say we don't know that happened. We know some brothers that listen. Brothers is getting high. Brothers is on drugs and alcohol, all types of demons and spirits on them. You can't say there ain't never been no woman that was so scared she had to call the police. So think of what's in her mind. All of that comes from all that fear and dysfunction and trembling of eyes and sorrow of mind comes from disobeying God. You understand? Because if you was obeying the Most High, guess what? You ain't got to fight with that woman tonight. Call me, brother. I'll come pick you up. All you got to do is call me. I'll come get you.
Right.
Come on with it.
Because it kind of go, like you said, it go both ways. Because if their sister actually need help, in her mind, she'll be like, well, damn, what if I call the police and they kill them? I don't want them to kill my children's dad. I don't want them to beat them to death or, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
well, no,
it's no ease. Like,
it's no ease on both sides. Now, for sure, calling the police is the most horrible thing you could do.
Right.
Damn near, I can't say that. But
last resort, like.
That's the last resort. It's the absolutely, you know, he got a gun, he got a knife, or he just hit me. It's like I can't. This somebody got to step in. And that's what the police are supposed to do. They're supposed to just come in. All right, now calm down, y'all.
Right.
All right, brother, you're gonna have to leave tonight, man. We gotta take you somewhere. Come get in the car. We'll take you, drop you off somewhere, but you can't stay here tonight. That's what they're supposed to do. But the police are such evil, horrible bastards that they'll just come kill somebody. You understand? Being in the truth, I remember that it was always said that calling the police for a domestic dispute is like trying to kill a fly with a hammer. Like a fly is, you know, flying around. You don't have a fly swatter, so you just try to kill the fly with a hammer. That's what calling the police is like for a domestic dispute. You understand? But this is the condition that the Most High said we would be living in if we did not obey him and become the peculiar treasure that he called us to be. Everybody understand? So what happened as a result? He prophesied that we would be scattered, and we were scattered, right? And in the midst of our scattering, what transpired? What took place that caused us to be lost? Now let's get Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4.
Okay.
You got it.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I give thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Everybody understands. The Most High said, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from that heritage that I gave thee. You understand? That's what it is. Everybody understands. The Most High said that we would discontinue from our heritage that he gave us. What is heritage? What is heritage? Sister Kapat is up.
Like our culture.
Okay, what is our culture?
The laws that he gave us, like what he told us to do and how he told us to live.
Okay. Culture. Laws that he gave us. Okay, you're right. Give me more though. You're right, but there's more than just your culture.
Legacy.
Your legacy. What is your legacy?
Birthright.
Yes, that's more on it. Your birthright. You understand? What's another word for birthright? When your predecessor passes on, what do you get? What do you receive?
Inheritance.
That's what your heritage is. Your heritage is your inheritance. Everybody understands? What was the inheritance of the children of Israel? It's not just our culture, right? It's not just these laws, but it's our language, it's our land, It's our rulership, our authority. Everybody understands? All of that was lost. He said we would discontinue from our heritage everything that you were supposed to inherit, you will lose it. And so what happened in the process of us being scattered among all these nations, we lost our culture, we lost our language, we lost our land, we lost our identity, we lost everything that made us a peculiar treasure. Everybody understands? And by discontinuing from that, we have become lost. Everybody understands? Jeremiah 17:4 is the Most High prophesying that we would lose everything that made us special. Everybody understands? The definition of heritage says property that descends to an heir. So it literally is inheritance. Everybody understands? All right. And he said he would cause us to serve our enemies in a land which we never knew, and that we would have kindled a fire in his anger, which shall burn forever. Now, I want to focus in on the serve your enemies in a land you never knew, right? Because we know that, when I would say we know, I'll just say this. This land is not what this land was when we inherited it. Everybody understand? All throughout the Americas, there were millions of Native Indians that lived here. You understand? And those Native Indians were doing those. There's evidence now that our oppressor has lied about Christopher Columbus discovering America. They've lied about the history of people being able to travel over here on boats and get to America, back and forth from America to Africa and Europe. Everybody understand? There's a lot of evidence that even before Europeans did anything, we was going across the ocean. You understand? Down there in where is it? There's the Olmec statues that's down there in South America, right? I believe it's in Colombia or they're in Brazil. There's these giant nigger heads that's down there in the South America. Black people was coming from Africa over there. You know what I'm saying? And the culture that was a lot of the culture of West Africa was actually Native American culture. You understand? A lot of their it's a lot. But our oppressor has lied to us about everything. I've been doing some studying and some research, and we don't even know the way the land of America as it is today is not what it was not even 100 years ago. You understand? I've been telling brothers and sisters, I've been doing some studying. There's maps, ancient map, old maps of America. You can go look up right now. California was an island when the white man first got over here to America, because there was rivers that flowed all the way from Canada and Alaska all the way down through the west coast of America. The white man got over here, built dams, and stopped the flow of those rivers and waters that was over there. And that's how you got the Grand Canyon and all of that stuff over there. All that desert and all them giant rock formations is over there. Them used to be rivers, man. A lot of that stuff was underwater. A lot of the west coast, the west terrain of the western part of the country was just like the eastern part of the country. Here in Memphis, right? There's a Mississippi River, right? Well, what branches off of the Mississippi River? What branches off of the Mississippi River?
A lot of other. Sorry.
Go ahead.
A lot of other little small rivers.
Ton of other little small rivers, right? You here in Memphis, Tennessee, you can find a body of water anywhere. Right. Everywhere you go, every park, everywhere you go, there's water flowing through the city, right? Well, what was it like before the devil came and built these giant trenches? And you know what I'm saying? You leave here now, you go to East Memphis. There's a giant channel that they built through the middle of the city that stops what? Stops water from flowing through. But what if that was never built? What if that water was just flowing the way it's supposed to flow? What if they wasn't stopping the water from coming off the river?
Right.
What would the landscape of Memphis look like?
Yeah.
What was the city looking like 100 years ago? What was it looking like before they built all these channels and diverted all this water? Well, it's the same thing over there in the West Coast. Now you got California. Right now, everywhere where it's burning and it's desert and it's drought. If the white man didn't stop all the goddamn, he built 1 million dams. Go look at a map. Just type in dams in the West Coast. It's over 150 dams on the west coast of the country that's stopping water from flowing the way it's supposed to flow. What if that water was allowed to flow? What would the landscape of America look like? So the most I say, you would serve your oppressor in the land that you never knew. This land ain't the land that we know.
Yeah.
You understand? I always tell brothers about that. Everybody knows about Central Park, right? In New York City. Central Park used to be a black community called Seneca Village in New York City, in the heart of Manhattan. That island of New York, in the heart of it, was a black city. But of course, they could not allow these niggas to have a village in the middle of what they called their downtown, where they wanted to build all these big buildings. So what did they do? Burnt the village down, killed all the niggas, and just built a park in the middle of the city. That park in the middle of New York is about 75 square blocks. That would have been 75 square blocks of nigger property in the middle of the richest city on the earth. The devils could not allow that. I always tell stories about, I grew up in Maryland, but the devils where I lived at, the rich devils I went to school with, their families all had lake houses, right? This lake called Lake Anna up in Pennsylvania. They used to go to Lake Anna every summer. For a couple summers, I went with them up there. And this Lake Anna is like 30 by 40 miles around. It's a giant river in the middle of Pennsylvania, and it's man-made. Man-made. But what did y'all drown when y'all built this giant river? What's under this 30 by 40 miles of water? Could it have possibly been some land where black and Gadite people was living? Y'all couldn't get them off the land, so y'all just decided to drown it? How many natives died when they built these dams to stop the water from flowing over there in the West Coast? How many lands were dependent on that water? How many people was living down there in the Grand Canyon areas and living all the way down there? How many Gadites did they destroy by just stopping the water from flowing? Do we know? Where's the history? Where the books? We don't know. Everybody understands, but there's so much that we don't know. That's what the Bible's talking about. We would serve our enemies in a land that we did not know. Not to mention all the brothers and sisters they took from this coast and took over to Africa, over to Europe, and had them to slave there. Think of all the people they brought from where we were in West Coast of Africa and different parts over there in Europe. They brought us over here. We was in lands that we didn't know. Everybody understand? Let's keep reading. It's like, and the Lord said that we would kindle a fire in his anger, which would burn forever. Everybody understand?
Okay.
All right, so let me see. Finding where the Most High was talking about, right? Let me get. Hold on. All right, let me get it's in the book of Jeremiah, I believe. Let's get Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13.
Okay. Said 14, 13.
Let's get 14 and 12.
Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
All right, so this here in Isaiah is the Most High speaking to Lucifer, right? If you want to know who Lucifer is, let me just deal with the lie that's been taught about this scripture. This is the scripture that every Christian uses to say that Satan is an angel that fell from heaven and is fighting against God, right? Mm-hmm. And it is amazing to me when I came into the truth and I got the understanding of this scripture, just how little reading comprehension people outside the truth have. For whatever reason, when people read the Bible, all the rules of reading go out the window. all of the, understanding context and getting comprehension and even the grammar. People forget what commas and periods mean. All of that just go out the window when people read the Bible. Because of Christianity and the pastor taking one scripture and just making up a whole hour and a half, presentation of this one scripture, we've forgotten to even understand what the hell we read.
Right.
People read this scripture and say, see, Lucifer's fighting God. God said he fell from heaven. All you gotta do is just keep reading a little bit to get some context and understand what the hell going on. Or read up a couple verses and you'll find out who Lucifer is. You understand? First of all, what is Lucifer? What does Lucifer mean? Does anybody know? Lucifer is a name, right? But in the Bible, names have meaning. What does the name Lucifer mean? If you don't know, what should you do? Mm-hmm. The Bible says, "O Lucifer, son of the morning." Right? If you didn't know what Lucifer was, well, what does it mean to be the son of the morning? What is the son of the morning?
So like you said,
Go ahead.
it means light. That's the right.
Light, you on it a little bit. It's a little bit more than just light. It's crazy as hell. Even the damn dictionary says used as a name of the devil. Then it says the synonyms are archfiend, Beelzebub, devil fiend, old Nick, Satan the serpent, right? That is not what Lucifer means. If you go down to history and etymology, right, it gives you what it says. It says Middle English, it means the morning star. It says a fallen rebel archangel, a goddamn lie.
Right.
The devil, which is true. From Old English, from Latin, the morning star. From Lucifer, which means light bearing. Everybody understands. Lucifer means light bringer.
Okay.
That's what Lucifer means. Oh, light bringer, son of the morning. Now, what is it talking about? Oh, Lucifer, son of the morning. What is the son of the morning? Well, let's save it. I'll break it all down. Let's just get Lucifer means light bringer, okay? That's what it's a name that means light bringer. All right? Isaiah 14:12. Oh, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? Read on.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
This is Lucifer speaking. I am going to go into heaven. Read on.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
I'm going to sit my throne above the stars of God. Read on.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Read on.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
I will go higher than the clouds. Read on.
I will be like the Most High.
I will be like the Most High. This is what Lucifer has said. This is Lucifer's ambition. This is his goal. This is his plan. Everybody remember that as I go to break this down. This is what God is saying that Lucifer is saying. Everybody understand? Read on.
Verse 15.
Now, this is after Lucifer's finished speaking. Go ahead.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Yet, meaning even that's what you said, yet you are going to be brought down to hell to the sides of the pit. So where's Lucifer not going? You're not going in the sky. You're not going above the clouds. You're not going to be like the Most High. You're not going to sit above the congregation in the sides of the north, on the mount of the congregation. Everybody understands? Let's keep reading.
Come on, come. Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdom?
One more time. What are the people that are going to narrowly look upon Lucifer and are going to consider him? To narrowly look upon something and consider it is like to look at it real close. You're trying to get a understanding. You're trying to see this thing, like, look at it. What is going on here? What is that? You studying it, you're trying to get some understanding. And the people that are studying, narrowly looking upon Lucifer, are going to say, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? I thought I thought Lucifer was an angel.
Right.
I thought Lucifer was Satan fighting a war against God.
Right.
The Bible is saying everybody is going to look at Lucifer and say, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? Lucifer is not an angel. Lucifer is not fighting any war against God in heaven. Lucifer is a man on the earth, or men on the earth. Everybody understands? And when he falls, everybody is going to say, is this the man that caused the earth to tremble, that had everybody afraid?
Right.
Is this the man that nobody could stand up against? Keep reading. What else they going to say? Read on.
Come. Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners.
Is this the man that made the world as a wilderness, that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? That's what this man has done. What is it? What man is being described here? Not what man. What kind of man is being described here? How is Lucifer being described by the people who were going to look at them when they fall?
So like you talking about the people who looking at him, right?
The people after he falls, the people that are looking at him, they're saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms? Is this the man that destroyed the cities and wouldn't open up the doors to his prison houses? How are they describing this man? How are they describing Lucifer? Sis.
Like he had some power?
Yes, that's not the answer.
Okay.
What type of man are they describing? Come on, y'all.
Wicked.
Why you say that?
Because these some wicked things. He didn't get prisoners out.
Okay. Are they wicked? Making the earth to tremble, shaking the kingdoms, made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities. What laws are being broken there?
So he's the longest man.
Okay. Where are you getting that from? Again, from what we just read in verse 16 and 17, what laws have been broken? What laws of God can you say? See, was there a law against destroying cities? Is there a law against shaking kingdoms, making people afraid? There's no laws against that. But still, this man is being described as a certain type of man. What kind of man is he being described as, young Yama?
An oppressor.
Yes, an oppressor. Lucifer is excuse my language, he's a fucking oppressor. He's making people afraid, destroying cities, he's shaking the kingdoms. He's now opening the doors of his prison houses. Damn, nobody should be a prisoner forever. In the Bible, if somebody has to go to jail, how long should they be in jail for? Okay, not even that. What is jail in the Bible? What is the punishment for What is a punishment for somebody who's done something that doesn't require them to die? Sis.
Like for theft, you gotta pay it back twofold, right, or something.
Sevenfold.
Sevenfold. Okay.
But if you ain't got the money, what you gotta do?
You gotta replace it, right?
You ain't got no money, how do you replace it? You know what I mean, Mom?
Labor.
Labor. You gotta be a servant.
Okay.
You gotta go work for that person now.
Mhm.
You understand? Prison, there ain't no prison in the Bible. Oh no, you're gonna work for him now. You stole from this man, well now you're gonna have to work for this man. In a righteous kingdom, the person who did the crime would now have to go serve the person who they violated. Who would be there to make sure that this person fulfilled their duty?
Right.
The priest, the police would be there. The priest would be there every day. You check in with me before. You check in with me every day, Mr. Johnson. You understand? You're going to go over there and show up to the Samuels house, do whatever they need to get done. Matter of fact, Mr. Samuel's not going to the slavery for the next month because you broke his leg. Guess what? You going to the slavery. You're going to work, and all that money you get, guess what? You're going to give X amount to Mr. Johnson for the next 2 months until he get healed up. Every day you check in with me, let me know that you made it on time. That would be what punishment that you get. Everybody understand that? The punishments for things like being a drug dealer and being a murderer and a rapist, what's the punishment for that? In the righteous kingdom?
Yeah.
Death. That nigga ain't even here no more. He dead.
Right.
So the people who that were violated in that instance, they get justice. You understand? That's how it would be in a righteous kingdom. Murderers and rapists wouldn't be walking around. You wouldn't have to worry about a rapist not doing their job. He'd be dead. And guess what? Whatever that rapist owned, whatever money they had, whatever valuables they had, they would now go to the victim. That's how it would happen in the righteous kingdom. You, Michael Jackson, you raped these little boys, guess what? All of your inheritance is now dispersed among the people who you violated. R. Kelly would die. And all the women who he violated, they would get the money from his royalties and his record sales. Right now in America, R. Kelly in jail, right? What did the women who got violated by R. Kelly get?
Nothing.
They get any money from that? I Believe I Can Fly? They get any wrong? This is an evil ass place. Because guess what? R. Kelly in jail. Who's getting all the checks from all the R. Kelly money? The devil.
Yeah, the producers.
Yeah, they still getting paid.
Yeah, honestly.
This is an evil ass place. Them sisters are still mourning.
Yeah.
In a righteous kingdom, they would mourn, but they would feel justice for what happened to them. Everybody understands? Lucifer is being described as an oppressor because Lucifer is the oppressor. That's who Lucifer is. Now, let's go to the breakdown. Let's go back up to verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Lucifer is this man is being described as the sun. You understand? The sun that shines in the sky. Why is this man being described as the sun? Because he sits in power and authority over the earth. He shines bright above everything. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? You was up in the sky, shining bright above everybody. Oh, you fallen. Your light is no longer bright and shiny. It's now dim. Everybody understands? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? All of this is a prophecy of what will happen in the future. You understand? These people were ruling. They were in power. They was bright as the sun. Everybody wanted to be like them. They shined on the whole earth. Now they've been brought down to the ground. Now they've been brought low. They're no longer in power, no longer in authority. Everybody understands. But while they were up there, they did weaken the nations. Verse 13. For they said in their hearts, I will ascend into heaven. Right? I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. What is this talking about? This is not talking about going into outer space. This is talking about going into power and rulership. Heaven in verse 13 is not talking about this outer space or where the Most High is. It's talking about above all the authorities on the earth, all the powers on the earth. Everybody understand? I will, in the Bible, heaven and hell are conditions on the earth. To be in hell is to be oppressed, is to be ruled over, is to be in slavery and bondage, right? To be in heaven is to be in authority, in power, in rulership. Lucifer, these men are saying, we're going to go into heaven. We're going to go above the seat of all power and authority on the earth, and we are going to set our throne above the stars of God. What are the stars of God? If heaven is power and rulership and authority, what are the stars of God? Come on, y'all. Children of Israel. These men said, we're going to go and sit above the children of Israel. We're going to sit above the government of God. We're going to sit above the authority that God put in the earth. I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation. What is the mount of the congregation? What is mount short for? Mountain. What are mountains in the Bible? It's in when used symbolically. What are mountains symbolically used as in the Bible? Governments. I will sit above the government of the congregation. Who's the congregation? Come on, y'all. The people. What people?
The other nation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Israelites.
The Israelites. These men are saying we're going to plant our throne above God's chosen, above who he said should be in power, and we're going to rule over his people. We're going to rule, we're going to be the government. We're going to sit upon the mount of the congregation. We're going to be the government of the people in the sides of the north. Where are we today?
North America.
In North America. And from North America, where does our oppressor rule? Where else does it rule? Is there power limited to the northern part of the country? Where does their power reach to? Everywhere. They ruling the earth from sitting on top of the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. The Bible is breaking down life today in America. And what our oppressors said in their heart was their desire. What was the desire of the people that came to America? Manifest destiny. What did they say? God wants us to rule this land from one coast to the other and to rule over all the people here. That's been nowhere else on the earth has anyone had a standard for themselves like that. The Chinese didn't say, we're going to run all of Asia from one coast to the other coast. The Africans, no African tribe said, we're going to run all of Africa from the east coast of Africa to the west coast of Africa. There's one people on the planet that said they was going to rule from one side to the other side, and it's the so-called, it happens to be in a land called North America. This is biblical prophecy. You understand? And from this place, our oppressor has shined bright and influenced everyone on the earth. He has ruled over the earth from the sides of the north, sitting over the mount of the congregation with his throne above the stars of God. Everybody understands? Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That's talking about going into outer space. That's his space station. That's him trying to fly to the moon, sending rockets up in the sky to circle the earth. You understand? That's his spy programs and all these computers and these damn cameras and these cell phones. They're listening to every conversation you got. All the little freaky texts you're sending your significant other, he reading them. Some nasty devil in some office somewhere. Oh, look at this one, John. They watching your freak text y'all sending. I don't care. The devil, they gonna have to hey, God damn it, I can't be in 5 places at one time. I got to send these texts. You understand? Them devils be having a field day. Look at this one, John. They be having a good time. That's some heavy game he's laying down. You damn right. You understand? That's them trying to be like the Most High. They trying to be everywhere at all times, knowing everything. There's some things the devil should not know.
Right.
You should not know what's going on in my phone. That's all. It's at your own risk, devil. You understand? It's a locky. That's what I got to be. Come on, my y'all.
What he's bringing out is really heavy.
Hey man, his I think God really is with this guy. Look at that shit.
Right. This is biblical.
Them devils, you know what I'm saying? Devil got to get some game from somewhere.
Thank you,
My y'all,
brother.
it's a locky. You know what I'm saying? Devil got to get some game from somewhere. But that's what this is talking about. And in the Most High said, in all of their thoughts and their planning, they are going to be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Meaning they in rulership, they in power, they're going to be brought low. They're going to be brought down to the bottom. They're going to be brought down to captivity, to slavery, to hell, to the sides of the pit. Everybody understands? And then at that point, everybody's going to look at them. Everybody's going to consider them and say, these the men, these the people that ruled the earth. These the people that caused the nations to tremble. These the people that bombed all of the towns and made the earth a wilderness. These the people that wouldn't open their prison houses. Everybody understands? That's this is talking about our oppressor. You understand? And what's going to befall them in the end. But the key here is that the Most High said that they would be ruling over set their throne above his stars and rule above his congregation in the sides of the north. And that is the place where we are today, here in North America. Everybody understand? Now let me get give me Jeremiah 16. I want to say 16 and 17. Hold on. No? Oh, yeah, here we go. Give me Jeremiah 16 and 14.
Come. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that bringeth up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
The Bible said the days are coming where it shall no more be said the Most High lives, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Right now to this day, what is the most amazing thing that you read in the Bible? Read about these people that was delivered from Egypt. You read about God delivered these people out of Egypt by plaguing the land with frogs and with hailstorms and the river turning to blood, and locusts came and ate up all the crops.
Right.
Then there was boils and sores that came up on the people and on the animals. A disease came through. Then last but not least, the Lord brought through a death angel. Death came through in one night and killed all the firstborns of all the animals and of all the people that did not put blood on their door. Everybody reads that and said, man, this is an amazing story of deliverance and salvation and freedom for people who were enslaved. No other nation or no other people on the earth has such an amazing story of getting out of captivity.
Right.
But the children of Israel have it. The Lord said the days are coming where that's not going to be remembered anymore. How great coming out of Egypt was, people ain't going to mention that no more. So what's going to happen that will erase Egypt from everybody's memory? Keep reading.
Come. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north.
But it's going to be said that the Most High lives, that brought the children up out of the land of the north. Where are we in captivity today? In the land of the north. Everybody understands? Now, you may have a fake Israelite or somebody that doesn't understand the Bible. They'll tell you that this is talking about Babylon, right? Because Babylon was north of the land of Israel. They'll tell you this is talking about Assyria. Why? Because Assyria was north of the land of Babylon. North of the land of Israel. How do you cut them on that? Somebody say, this ain't about North America, man. It's about Babylon and about Assyria. How do you cut them that this prophecy isn't talking about that? Kamayala.
Because of what it said the days will come, and this means it haven't came yet.
Okay, that doesn't mean that. The Bible said the days will come when we will be scattered. We've been scattered. The Bible wasn't written yesterday. So some of it, when it says the days will come, some of those days have come already. That wouldn't cut them. Sister Kapatazan.
Isn't this the daughter of Babylon? Like, not Babylon, but the daughter of Babylon? Is that
Okay. What does that have to do with this scripture, though? You
Like,
right.
to
This is
show-
the daughter of Babylon.
to show that this isn't talking about Babylon? It's talking about, the other scriptures that refer to, I guess, the north being the daughter of Babylon.
Okay, this scripture doesn't say
Okay.
Babylon.
Okay.
It says the land of the north.
Okay.
But the fake Israelite is saying that land of the north was north of Israel in Babylon, north of Israel in Assyria. This ain't talking about America. Y'all breaking the Bible down wrong. Y'all twisting the scriptures. Y'all, your mom.
It says the land we had driven them. So we in North America right now. This is where we've been driven.
Okay, we were also driven into Assyria, though. We were also driven into Babylon when we went into slavery in those places. So the fake Israelite is telling you this ain't talking about America, man. They lying. How do you prove to them that this is talking about America and it isn't talking about Babylon or Syria north of Israel? Kapatazan.
What we just read in Isaiah?
No, it's right here in the scripture.
Okay.
I'll give it to y'all for time's sake. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about us leaving Babylon. How did we leave Babylon? How did we leave Assyria? The earth still remembers Egypt. Nigga, what you talking about?
Right.
The Bible said the people ain't gonna remember Egypt no more after we come out of the land of the north. The Lord said no longer is it going to be said the Lord lived that brought the children up out of the land of Egypt. It ain't going to be said no more. Instead, it's going to be said the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel out of the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into the land that I gave them to their fathers. Are we in the land he gave to our fathers? Is there any stories about the miraculous deliverance out of Babylon and Assyria and all the other places? Well, that ain't happened yet, nigga. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the Bible. We know the Bible.
Right.
This is not talking about the land of the north of Israel. This is talking about the land of the north that the earth recognizes. The entire planet recognizes this as the land of the north. People that don't even speak English where they're from, guess what they call America? The land of the north. If you speak Russian and you don't know any English, what do you call this land? North, whatever the hell north is in their language. If you're Hispanic, you call this Norte Americana. North America. The earth calls this the land of the north. In Japan, that means north, nigga. The land of the north. You speak African, nigga, the land of the north, nigga. That's where this is. The land of the north. That's what the Bible is talking about. The land of the north. Come on with it.
So basically, you saying, and the way to cut them by saying it is the fact that we still talking about Egypt.
Part of the prophecy is that you ain't gonna talk about Egypt no more. Egypt was amazing and great. There's a reason Egypt is remembered.
Right.
This deliverance is gonna be so amazing, niggas ain't gonna remember Egypt no more.
Right.
And that's getting free from America and all the other lands we've been scattered and being put in our land. That's amazing. That's gonna be greater than Egypt. It took spaceships. Okay. It took a death angel sweeping through, killing all the firstborns of everything. And only the people who put lamb's blood on their doors to not die that night. That was an amazingly powerful work of some higher power that made the Pharaoh say, get them niggas out of here. Made all the Egyptians say, leave, y'all are cursed to us. We were a punishment to them. Y'all are cursed to us. Take whatever gold, silver you need. Get the hell away from us. Having you all here is causing us to die. That was amazing. That's why the earth remembers it. It's world famous, like the flood. Just like the flood is famous, Israel living in Egypt is famous. Well, something's gonna happen in the earth, brother, when Egypt ain't even gonna be remembered no more. Instead, everybody's gonna say, "You remember God delivered His people from the land of the north? His people freed from New York City, from Mississippi, from Memphis, Tennessee, from New Orleans, Louisiana, from Compton, California, from Las Vegas, Nevada, from name some cities. Chicago, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California. Give me some more of them horrible places. Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta, Georgia, freed from the land of the A. You understand? Freed from Miami,
New Orleans.
freed from New Orleans. Give us some cities in Wisconsin. But nigga, Milwaukee, Madison. You understand?
Green Bay.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. What's Indianapolis, Indiana. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Where they killed George Floyd at? What was that?
That was Houston.
Nah, he from Houston. Houston? No, that was in Minnesota. What city though?
Right.
Was it Minneapolis or was it? Man, one of them cities. All them places. Nigga, Mexico,
Right.
Brazil, Minneapolis, Colombia, Peru, Argentina. It's gonna be said that we was delivered from all them places. Man, that was amazing. And think of what it's gonna take for us to come from those places. How he gonna do that? He gonna get all the niggas out of all the ghettos and take us and put us in our land and do what to the Bible tells us what he gonna do. What he gonna destroy everybody else and take people from other places of the world and bring them and dump them in the fire? It's going to be amazing. And the earth is going to remember it. Nobody remembers leaving Babylon, nigga. Nobody remembers leaving Assyria, fake Israelites. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You don't know the Bible. Everybody understand. Salakia. And that's it. All right. Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, that's it. All right. We can close out the class with that. Clap it up. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever lived on the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Brothers and sisters in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, we have classes Tuesday through Friday from 6 to 8. Get in contact with us, man. The address is 3000 Walnut Grove Road in Memphis, Tennessee, Suite 215. Come check us out. That pass class over to Priest and Officer Kamaya.
ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK style 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. The book of Numbers chapter 18 verse 21, the book of Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 through 10, means tent in Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, a medium.
Tell them what it means. It means to stand.
A medium means to stand at attention. A medium Shabbat. A medium Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Yahshua Sapon Yah Aguatium means turn and face the sisters. A medium Shabbat. A medium Barak. Yahweh Shema, Thabah Shem Yahushua. Yahweh Shema, dismissed.